Hey guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, fredmccoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great morning.
We just wanted to make a brief video. Sheila and I were driving along and we were talking about a subject. We were talking about John Vance. He passed away over the last few days. And,
bless his heart.
I want to just mention something. You know, there's some sad times during the Hatfield-McCoy feud. Randall and Sarah McCoy experienced things that no parent should ever experience with one child, much less 6 or 7, and the family torment that they went through. Not only that, but another sad time during the Hatfield-McCoy feud or saga would have been 1947 with the killing of Hubert Bay McCoy by Alan Hatfield, where he was murdered. That was a sad time.
Yeah.
And you know, as we talk about John Vance, Sheila and I, that's right up there with one of the saddest times of anything dealing with the Hatfield-McCoys saga or feud related or anything like that. John Vance was the great-grandson of Crazy Jim Vance.
Yep.
Now, I call him Crazy Jim Vance because even John, when he talked to Sheila and I at the graveyard when we were up there, that's what he referred to him as. And he told us some stories about Jim Vance. You know, you don't have to try to make heroes out of these people. Let them be what they were. We respect Jim Vance because he was all man. But that was John Vance's great-grandfather. But let's talk about the sad times of the feud, or of the Hatfields and McCoys. This was one of the sad times because in 2001, I think it was, Ron McCoy from Durham, North Carolina, and I know I've told this story before, so if you've done heard it, fine, I'm sorry. But in case somebody's just now viewing and they haven't heard this story, go back and watch some of our early videos. But Ron McCoy from Durham, North Carolina, who didn't even know he was part of the McCoys until he was 35 years old, him and minister Bo McCoy from Waycross, Georgia, two guys that not even from Pike County or West Virginia, they're from North Carolina. They saw an opening for some publicity and they jumped on it. And how they jumped on it was they filed a lawsuit against John Vance and his wife Barbara. Now, John and Barbara had been married 52 years. I saw in the obituary.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Sheila and I have been married 38 years. I don't know what I'd do without her.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Oh yeah, you'd find something. But anyway, I can imagine being married 52 years to someone and all of a sudden they're gone. So our sympathy, our hearts go out to Barbara and her family and children.
For their family.
But, you know, it brings me back to the last few years of John's life. In short, Ron and Bo went there to see John Vance, Ron and some other guys, first of all, when they went to scout out to see if there was enough room to turn a tour bus on that property. Now, John didn't want a tour bus up there, turning on his property. John had never had no problem with nobody visiting those graves, never. We'll go up there as much as we want, anybody, not just McCoys, anybody. Until they wanted to charge people. They wanted to charge people to come up there and look at those McCoy graves. Now, John didn't buy that property for the McCoy graves. He bought that property to live on. That was his and Barbara's homes. That's where they lived. It just so happened to have 6 of the McCoys buried on it. Mm-hmm. And later on, when they saw the opportunity people in Pike County did to promote the Hatfield-McCoy feud and turn it into a tourism attraction, they decided, hey, wouldn't it be great to show these 6 graves? John didn't want people charged to look at those graves. He never charged nobody. They filed a lawsuit. It went to court. John won the lawsuit, contrary to what Ron and Bo says. They say it was a win on both sides. It was not a win on both sides. The McCoys never won nothing. All they done was put a restriction. After that, John restricted the cemetery to once or twice a year for Memorial Day you could go visit. So I'm just wondering what somebody like that is thinking right now. John's passed away. John was a historical person. He knew about his great-grandfather.
He knew his
I don't know what he knew about the rest of the few, but John could educate you on crazy or bad Jim Vance or Uncle Jim.
Mm-hmm.
He had several names also. And I just wanted to enlighten people as to these people that goes out and files a lawsuit against somebody, and Ron says it was the Hatfields and McCoys back in court. It was not the Hatfields and McCoys. It was the McCoys and the Vances. But he wanted to throw that Hatfield McCoy in there so he could get that publicity from the feud. Says he had no alternative motive. He just wanted to open the cemetery. Cemetery was open.
Yeah.
He wanted that publicity. He wanted to write a book, and he did write a book. A sad, shameful book. Has a chapter on the history. All right, she's toning me down. This is not about that. This is about John Vance.
Yeah.
May you rest in peace.
God bless you.
And may the two men that filed suit against him and turned his last few years into, John quit commenting on the feud.
Yeah.
He quit socializing as far as people coming up to the cemetery where he used to come out and would chat with you. He quit doing that. They broke his spirit.
Oh.
And John Vance was a good man who refused to be bullied. And those two McCoys, people think I always take up for the McCoys. I don't. I take up for what's right. I take up for the truth, or Sheila and I do.
Yeah.
And they were in the wrong when they filed a lawsuit against John and Barbara Vance. And I hope, well, I don't want to tell you what I hope because it's sad. I wouldn't be no better than they were.
That's exactly right.
That.
So let's
may John
be kind.
Vance rest in peace. God bless his soul. This concludes it for Sheila and I.
praying for his wife and his family. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening. A great day, I should say. Please like, subscribe, and share.